Welcome to the Elliott High Network. I am your host, Madison Williams. The Washington Teachers Union has launched a major initiative called Learning Doesn't Stop Lessons on TV. Let's check out Mr. Bonhomme again from School Within School. In the first lesson, Mr. Bonhomme will be discussing addition and subtraction. Lesson 2 will consist of Mrs. Torney. Ms. Torney will be conducting her lesson on the DCPS ELA Distance Learning Packet. Let's check in with our teachers.
How's it going, everybody? It's Mr. Bonhomme back at you. I hope that you've been humble. You've been hungry, I know that, for some more knowledge, some more math, and I hope that you've been healthy. Last week, I spoke about tens and why those are so important. So I want you to pay close attention because those are going to be important tools that we use today. We're going to be focusing on addition and subtraction. They're related. They're like cousins. Anyways, first, we're going to get to a warm-up because I know you've been away from math for about a week, hopefully not that long. But let's get started with a first problem, and this is making tens. I know you've been hungry, so I have a plate for you. 8 plus 16. Boom. We are going to put 8 plus 16. And we're going to make that. This addition problem is fun to do math. I know that some of us might do it on top of each other, stacking, standard algorithm. That's old school. I'm going to teach you how to have fun with this. We're going to make a next 10. We're looking at 8 and 16. One-digit number, two-digit number. We want to make this larger number the next 10. And when I say the next 10, not just a regular 10, but the next multiple of 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on. The next 10 after 16 will be 20. All right. How many more do I need 18 to get to 20? 17, 18, 19, 20. 4 more. So I'm going to take a 4 out of this 8. But if I take a 4 out of the 8, the only thing left is another 4. So I cross that out. I don't have an 8 anymore. I have 2 4s. Now I'm going to combine this 16 and a 4. And that equals 20. A friendly number because it ends in a 0. Friendly, benchmark. Those numbers are cool. Not too spicy, you know? Now, what we're going to do is add this 4 and this 20. Those are the only numbers we have left. We're going to combine them together. 4 and 20, that equals 24. That's our final answer. I circle it and I put a crown on it, just like Basquiat. That's what I tell my students to do to let me know that they're finished and that is their complete final answer. Let's get into another one. That was a little sample. Remember, we're making tens with this warm-up. Next, we're going to do a two-digit plus two-digit number. 79 plus 13. So we have 79 plus 13. Ooh, this is getting a little bit more spicy. What I want to do is get the larger number to the next 10, the next multiple of 10. 79. The next multiple of 10 will be 80. All right? 79 is only 1 away from 80. So that means I need to take a 1 out of this 13. That means that I would only have a 12 left. This is not a 13 anymore. It's a 1 and a 12. So I'm going to combine 79 and 1. 79 plus 1. That's 80. Next, what I'm going to do is combine the only numbers I have left. This 80 over here and this 12. Let's do that. 80 plus 12. It's easy. 2 plus 0, 2. 110 plus 8 tens, 9 tens. Your answer will be 92. We got to put a crown on it. Just like Basquiat. Complete. We're making tens. This is good. Very helpful. It's going to help you out, especially when we get to our main lesson for today. And before I know and leave you, that's not it. This is just an appetizer. We have a 3-digit number plus a 2-digit number. And we're going to make a 10 out of this. This is going to help us add 173 plus 29. Remember, we want to try to get the largest number. I like to do that. You can try with the other number, but I like to get the largest number to the next 10 to get it to the next friendly number. 173, it has 17 tens, The next 10 would be 18 tens. So that would be 180. We practiced that last week. You could go on WTU, local.6, to look at some of that stuff, just to get some refreshers and look at some worksheets that I created. But let's get this to 180. 173. Think about 73 and how many more it would need to get up to 80. 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. So we need 7 ones from this 29. I'm going to take a 7 out, 27, 29, and I'll take away out a 7 would be 22. So I'm going to cross out this 29. Now I can combine 173 and 7. That's 180. Let me cross those out because I used those already. And now I'm going to use 22 and 180. I could turn this 22 into a 20 and a 2. Cross out the 22. And add 20 to 180. That's a little bit easier. I'm messing with friendly numbers here. They end in zeros. They have 0 in the ones place. That gets me to 200. I cross both of those out because I combined them. And now it's just 200 plus 2. Boom. 202. Put a crown on that thing. Done. Complete. That's the warm-up, the appetizer. Now let's get to the main dish, main course. I'm going to show you why and how addition and subtraction are related. See, I made this little paper here. I'll post it on the website. But it's the way I tell my students to match up and write the equation when they have addition and subtraction. Let me post it up a little bit better. A part and a part, you add them together and you get the whole or the total. You swap those parts and you add them, you still get the total. In subtraction, the total or the whole comes first, and you subtract the part to get another part. With the same exact numbers, the whole or the total will always come first. Then you subtract a different part to get the opposite part. I'll keep that up here as a reminder. It's in the background, but it's very important. All right. Now, before this whole coronavirus thing happened and everybody had to stay home, I went to go visit my cousin up in Baltimore. He goes to a college up there. I drove with my younger brother, right? He's a high schooler, so we were chatting about school, and then he got bored because about 28 minutes into the ride, he fell asleep around Laurel. Then he woke up in Baltimore, asking me, how long did the trip take? How long was our sleep for? I didn't want to tell him. I'm a math teacher, so I made him think about it. I said, look, we were in D.C. We got to Baltimore. I'll put D.C. here, and I'll put B-more here. He fell asleep in Laurel. Ooh, my handwriting is sloppy. Laurel, Maryland. All right. It took 28 minutes to get out to Laurel. He was up. But he knew from my story that the whole trip took 54 minutes. He didn't know how long he fell asleep for. I said, look, you can do some addition to this because you know a part and you know the total or the whole. You know that. So we're going to set it up just like this. We have a part. We don't know the other part, but we know the total. Let's see what he did. He set it up like this. 28 plus blank equals 54. Now, my brother knew that he could get to a friendly number. He knows his multiples of 10. He added 2. I'll switch the colors. He added 2 minutes, and he got to 30. Cool. From there, he decided to add 20 minutes. All right. He's getting closer to the total amount of time he was sleeping. 30 plus 20, 3 tens plus 2 tens equals 5 tens or 50. And then he just added 4 ones. 4 minutes. Then he had to add all of this time up to find out that missing part and how long he had actually been snoozing and leaving me to drive alone in the car with nobody to talk to. So 2 minutes plus 20 minutes plus another 4 minutes. He added 2 and a 4, he got 6. Then all he had to do is add the 20 and the 6, and he got 26 minutes. So he realized this entire time right here, that missing part was 26 minutes. So he had been sleeping for 26 minutes. I want you to remember that. Because he said, why did you make me use addition when I could use subtraction to figure out the same equation? I said, what are you talking about? He said that I had told him once upon a time that if he knew the whole in a part, all he had to do was find the missing part, and you could use subtraction for that. I guess I taught him well. He was right. So he decided to set up his number line in a different way. And like I said, this is to show you how addition and subtraction are related. So he decided to set up his equation like this. 54 minus 28. This was the total amount of time. I'm going to put a T. And this was the part that he was actually up for, to find out the missing part of how long he was sleeping. Let's see what my brother did. He decided to put 54 at the end. He put 54 minutes at the end. Boom. Now, he needed to subtract 28. And he told me he knew an easy way of doing this. So I said, okay, I believe you. I'll watch. All right. He decided to take this 28 and decompose it. He subtracted first 20. Let me erase that so it looks a little bit neater. He subtracted 20 minutes. So all he did was take away 2 tens from this 54. He landed at 34 minutes. Okay, my brother's kind of smart. So he took out a 20. What he had left was an 8. He said, I'm at 34 minutes and I need to subtract the whole 28 minutes. I need to subtract 8 more minutes. Instead of taking a whole 8, I think I'm going to take a 4 away. So he subtracted 4. He got to a friendly number, which is at 30. It's a multiple of 10. Look, my brother was getting closer and closer to the answer, and also seeing how addition and subtraction are related. This is what he decided to do next. Because he took a 4 out, and he had another 4 that he needed to subtract still. 30 minus 4, 29, 28, 27, 26. 26 minutes. Now, anybody who's watching at home, 26 was that missing part that we found the first time. 26 minutes. That total was the same. He subtracted the part that we already knew, the time that he was up in the car. And he was able to find out using that number line of subtracting how much time he was actually snoozing. Look, I know that you've enjoyed your time with me, and I surely enjoyed my time with you. I hope that you catch me next week. Oh, this week I had some time, so I made a new design. Remember, my name is Mr. Bonhomme. And if you want to know more about this lesson, or where you could just learn some more math during the week, or look at last week's lesson and resources, please check out this website, WTULocal6.net. My name is Mr. Bonhomme. Happy to be with you, and I hope that you stay humble, you stay hungry for more knowledge, and you stay healthy. That's very, very important. I'll see all of you next week. Peace.
Good morning, boys and girls. I am so happy to see you all this morning for Task Time with Miss Torney. My name is Miss Torney, and today we're going to do a little bit of work on our ELA distance learning packet. But first, I'd like to make sure that I can hear and see everybody who's in attendance today. So when I say your name, please say your name nice and loud. When I say how you feel, give me one word that tells me how you feel. Are you ready? Okay. Say your name. My name is Miss Torney. How do you feel? I feel great. Again, say your name. My name is Miss Torney. How do you feel? I feel great. Wow. Thank you for that. I heard so many of my friends' name. I heard Aiden. I heard Denasia. I heard Zamir, my friend Andreas, my friend Alasia. Thank you for coming today, and parents and friends too. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get down to our ELA. So today we're going to talk about two types of text. One is fiction and the other is nonfiction. I'm going to give you one moment to tell me, what do you think fiction is? I have an example. Maybe that'll help you. This is an example of a fiction book. What do you think? Yes, I love those answers. If you told me that a fiction book was a fantasy story about something that wasn't real, you hit the nail right on the head. Good job. I love it. Now let's move on to nonfiction. I'm going to give you an example of one of my favorite nonfiction books. Let's see, what do you think about that? What do you think about this book? Oh, I hear all kinds of answers. You are right on. If you're telling me that a nonfiction book is about something that is real or true, you are right. Right? A nonfiction informs the reader about a true or real occurrence, something that really happened. And I showed you an example of my nonfiction book about Michelle Obama. We know that she's real, don't we? So we know that that's nonfiction. Fiction stories are lots of fun to read because they talk about fantasies and all kind of imaginary worlds, and that's always fun. But nonfiction books can be fun too. Why do you think we would read nonfiction books? What's the purpose? I want you to think once, write it down if you have something to write with, and if you don't, just capture it in your head. Now think twice, write that second thought down, and again, if you have something to write with, write it down. If not, just capture it in your head. Earlier, I sat down and jotted down the reasons why I like to read nonfiction books. Let's see if you can share some of those ideas with me. And let's see if we have some of the same thoughts. These are the reasons that I came up with. Are any of yours here? One, to learn about real topics. Yes, like trees, because it's springtime. Maybe we want to learn about the cycle of trees and plants. Another good reason to read a nonfiction book is to gain knowledge about events. Here in DC, we have all kinds of events, and you guys are so lucky. You live in Washington, DC, you get to benefit from tons of great events. One of the events that happens here all the time, every 4 years, is the inauguration, where we get to inaugurate our president. That's a huge event, and if anyone writes about that, that would certainly be a nonfiction activity. My third reason is to discover more or new facts. You know what I learned since I've been home? I know very little about sports. So I decided I would find out more facts about sports. So I've been reading a lot of nonfiction about sports. And my last reason, teach someone about something. Did you know, as children, you could be teachers too? Even though you're a child, I bet you've taught somebody something really important. Didn't even know it. What I realized was that I've been spending a lot of time in my home cooking with my family. And you know what I realized when I did that? I was teaching. I would write recipes down and steps down for my children to follow. And guess what? When they use those to make their favorite dishes, they were reading nonfiction. And guess who was the author? Little old me. How about that? I found that to be really exciting. Now, there's all kinds of nonfiction, and authors write nonfiction for different purposes. One of the purposes are to describe something. It's called a description, right? You can describe a person, a place, or a thing, your favorite dish, your favorite place to go, a playground. Okay, you can give it all kind of details and characteristics. Another reason authors write nonfiction books are because they want to give you an opportunity to find a sequence of events. What does sequence mean? Things happen in a certain order. Sometimes it could be first, second, or third, or sometimes it could be dates like January 1st, March 15th, and December 31st. All of those are sequences. And when we find sequences, oftentimes our authors display sequences in timelines. Another way that authors write nonfiction are compare and contrast. So we know that word, don't we? When we compare something, what are we doing? Finding similarities. And when we contrast something, what are we doing? Finding differences. Excellent. Thank you for helping me with that. Kiss those brains. I love that you all are so engaged. And let me tell you, your teachers are going to be so proud of you that you were able to answer these questions and follow along with me. We've got two more types of nonfiction to talk about. One is called, is called cause and effect. So what causes something, and as a result, what's the effect, right? So if I do something and something happens as a result, then that's cause and effect, right? Like have you ever heard of April showers bring May flowers? That's a funny one. It's more like a poem, but it certainly helps us understand what cause and effect is all about. The rain causes the seeds to bloom and we get beautiful flowers. And the last type of nonfiction text is problem and solution. Now, I know my friends out there, you guys are the best problem solvers. I know. And some of the problems that you all may have, you probably already came up with solutions without anyone's help. So we're so proud that you're able to do that. And some of the problems that some of my friends have had, like coming to school and getting there on time, right? We don't have that problem now, but we may have had it in the past. In some ways, some solutions could be getting to bed earlier and even possibly leaving the house earlier ourselves to be on time for school, right? All of those things help solve that problem. Now, when you look in your packet that was given to you by the district, you will find two texts, and they are all about problems and solutions. The first text is called Sustainable Fishing. Oh my goodness, there's a big clue in that title, Sustainable Fishing. And the other is about Jane Goodall. Now, you may not know who Jane Goodall is, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She had a serious job. The first one, Sustainable Fishing, is all about how we can ensure that we can continue to have fish in the ocean. They have an important job and lots of experience, lots of reasons that we need to have them. So sustainable means we want to be able to maintain them. Okay? Maintain the fish so that we can always have them. Now, the other text is about Jane Goodall. She had a really cool job. Her job was a primatologist. That's a scientist, but a special kind of scientist, a scientist who studied primates. Primates are animals like gorillas, monkeys, chimpanzees, and guess what? I bet you wouldn't guess who else falls into the primate category. Humans, you and me. We're also primates. So Jane Goodall She was invested in making sure that primates would always be sustainable and not be extinct, right? They wouldn't disappear. I know, I can hear you. You guys are so right. When you hear the word extinct, one of the our favorite animals is already extinct, isn't it? What animal is that? I hear you, dinosaurs. You're right. We used to have dinosaurs walking on the earth, and now we don't because they did not have a sustainable way of living. So we couldn't keep them around, and now they're extinct. And so the two texts that you're going to read in your packet are going to talk about how people are trying to make sure that the problem of possible extinction of fish and primates may be solved with the different solutions that they are proposing. Now, while you're reading, I want to make sure that you pay attention to a few things. In your text, you will find several things. You'll find a title and subtitle. I already gave you that information, and that kind of helped you take a guess of what that article might be about. Also, we have photos and pictures, right? That also helps us. Maybe we don't know what a primate looks like. Maybe we don't know what Jane Goodall looks like. You'll probably see that in the text. Also, captions and labels. Captions and labels help us understand what the pictures are all about and how they are related to the article. Now, as you're reading, make sure you're annotating, and I want to give you a few clues as to how to annotate, right? When you're annotating, first, make sure you underline major points, okay? So when you find something that you think is an important piece of information, make sure you underline it. Then I'd like you to circle the key words and phrases, right? If you have your text in front of you, you can circle it. And if you don't have it, you can write it on a piece of paper and circle it there. Then I would like you to write a question mark next to anything that you don't understand. And you might want to spend some time when you get to see your teachers on Teams or on your meetings, or if you have another adult in your house who can help you with the question, then you can go back to that question. And the last thing is the margin. The margin is the part of the text that doesn't have any words on either side. That's a great place for note taking. Please make sure that you take some time to do that. I'm so excited that we had our time today. Now, don't forget, if you're a second grader watching me today, you get to pick your own text, right? Make sure it's not nonfiction now so that you can follow along with what we're doing. But if you're a third grader, you can find your nonfiction text right in your third grade week 3 ELA distant learning packet. I'm sorry, our time is over. It moves so quickly, but guess what? I'll be back next week and we'll have another opportunity to spend some time together. Stay safe, my friends, and I can't wait till you all get back to school. It's been a pleasure. See you next time. Bye.